You ever catch yourself replaying a conversation that went wrong years ago? Like you're rehearsing the perfect comeback for 2018 while it's already 2025. That's rumination, your brain's favourite illusion of control. It feels like insight, like you're learning something, preparing for next time. But what you're really doing is trying to manage an emotion your brain never got to finish feeling. Overthinking doesn't mean you're deep. It means your mind's scared. And fear loves to feel smart. Psychologist Susan Nolan Huxamer, who spent decades studying rumination, found it's not about intelligence at all. It's about emotional stuckness. She defined it as a passive focus on distress and its possible causes and consequences. In other words, thinking about your feelings instead of feeling them. And that distinction changes everything. You think, if I can just figure out why I feel this way, I'll stop feeling it. But you won't, because your brain isn't trying to solve the problem. It's trying to control the discomfort. It's a biological reflex. When something goes wrong, rejection, embarrassment, uncertainty, your brain releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. The logical part of your mind says, okay, let's think our way out. But the emotional brain doesn't speak logic. It speaks experience. So no matter how much sense you make of it, your body is still tense, your heart's still racing, and your mind keeps looping. You're not replaying events because you care about the truth. You're replaying them because your nervous system still thinks you're in danger. Rumination feels productive because it mimics analysis. You think you're reflecting. Reflection looks for understanding. Rumination looks for certainty. And that's why it never ends. Certainty never comes. Dr. David Barlow, clinical psychologist who studied anxiety, said people often use worry as a form of emotional avoidance. It's the same mechanism. The mind distracts itself with thinking so it doesn't have to feel. So you cycle through the what-ifs and should-haves, convinced that the next thought will finally bring relief. It never does, because relief comes from acceptance, not analysis. Let's be honest, rumination is addictive. It gives a tiny dopamine hit every time you almost figure it out. That fleeting aha moment, that's your brain handing out false hope. It's like emotional gambling. You keep pulling the lever, waiting for closure to line up, but it never does. And the more you think, the worse it gets. Because rumination isn't about events, it's about identity. You're not replaying what happened, you're questioning who you were when it happened. Did I seem weak? Did they lose respect for me? Am I the kind of person who messes things up? You start confusing introspection with self-criticism. And once that line blurs, the loop becomes endless. Neuroscientists call it the default mode network, the part of your brain that lights up when you're not focused on anything specific. It's what takes over when you're walking home, showering, or lying in bed at night. And when you're anxious or perfectionistic, that network doesn't rest. It replays. It picks up unfinished emotional business and starts editing your life like a bad director who refuses to stop reshooting the same scene. It's not that your brain hates peace, it just doesn't trust it. Think about it. If you ever woke up at 3 a.m. remembering a cringeworthy text from 2016, that's not your fault. That's your amygdala on overtime, telling your body, danger, social reputation is at stake. Meanwhile, your frontal cortex is waving a white flag saying, it's been 9 years, let it go. So, how do you get out? First, understand this. You can't think your way out of overthinking. You have to feel your way through it. That's not philosophy. That's neuroscience. Dr. Judson Brewer, a psychiatrist who studies habit loops, explains that rumination works like an addiction. Discomfort triggers a loop, and thinking gives temporary relief. The way out is awareness. When you notice the loop, I'm stuck in the rumination habit, you activate your prefrontal cortex, which quiets the emotional centers. Naming it is surprisingly powerful. Label it. This isn't thinking. This is rumination. Shift your questions. From why to what. Why did that happen? Keeps you stuck in story. What am I feeling right now? Moves you into experience. Ground yourself in the body. Notice your posture, your breath, your surroundings. Rumination lives in your head. Grounding brings you back to the present, where your body can finally signal safety. An emotional exposure helps. Sit with discomfort without trying to fix it. Nolan Huxamer, showed that people practicing mindful acceptance reduced depressive rumination dramatically. The brain learned, I can handle this feeling. Even mindfulness pioneer Ellen Langer found that simple awareness, noticing your thoughts without judgment, lowers anxiety. It shifts you from autopilot to agency. Here's the paradox. The more you try to stop overthinking, the more you think about overthinking. So don't try to stop, redirect. Instead of, how do I stop thinking? Ask, what is this thought trying to protect me from? Often, it's something beautifully human. Shame, loss, uncertainty, the need to feel in control. Once you name it, you stop fighting your thoughts and start listening to them. Because overthinking isn't the enemy, it's a messenger. Your mind says, something inside me still hurts and I don't know how to let it go. You don't have to silence your thoughts. Just stop believing all of them. The goal isn't to empty your head, it's to know when thinking stopped helping. Here's a little trick. Try giving your mind a tiny worry window. 10 minutes a day to obsess, then close it like a mental drawbridge. Researchers at Penn State University found this technique reduces the spiral of rumination because it trains the brain to contain the habit instead of letting it roam freely. True clarity doesn't come from solving every memory. It comes from letting the unsolved ones be okay. You'll never outthink pain, but you can outgrow it. Once you stop mistaking fear for depth. Overthinking isn't a flaw. It's what happens when intelligence meets insecurity. You care deeply, and you don't trust easily, so your mind fills in the silence with stories. The moment you stop needing answers, that's when peace finally has room to speak. So the next time your mind starts replaying old scenes, remember, you're not trying to understand the past. You're trying to feel safe again. And safety doesn't come from answers. It comes from letting go.